So the allyl chloride has only a chloride after in the methyl group, in the last methyl group, and the chlorine have chloride just in the middle of the chain. The allyl chloride is a colorless liquid insoluble in water, but soluble in common organic solvents, mainly converted to epichlorohydrin, used for the production of plastics. It is chlorinated derivative of propylene. And the chloroprene is a colorless volatile liquid, and it's used exclusively as a monomer to produce the polymer polychloropropene, which is a type of synthetic rubber. That's what you use for diving. Next are the chlorides of benzene, where there is a benzene ring that has chlorides. So, for example, chlorobenzene, similar to phenol, but instead of the OH, you get a Cl. Benzyl chloride, where you get the CH2 and then a Cl. P-dichlorobenzene, where you get Cl at two locations. And PCB, which is polychlorinated biphenyl. So you have several benzene groups and you get several chlorides that are attached to this group. So let's start with chlorobenzene. This is colorless flammable liquid, and it is common solvent and widely used intermediate in the manufacture of other chemical, which is mainly paints. The exposure limit 75 ppm over an 8-hour time weighted average of workers handling chlorobenzene. It's very toxic, and it also can persist in soil for several months and in air for about 3.5 days until it is degraded, and in water for less than a day. Benzyl chloride is a colorless liquid, reactive organochlorine compound, widely used chemical building block, and it's extremely hazardous. And you can see from this graph that the main supplier is actually China for it. P-dichlorobenzene, which has two Cls, colorless solid, has a strong odor. It is used as a disinfectant, pesticides, and deodorant, most familiarly in mothballs, in which a replacement for the more traditional naphthalene, because of naphthalene has a greater flammability. It's also used as a precursor in the production of the chemically and thermally resistant polymer, and may reasonably be anticipated to be a carcinogen. MCL in drinking water, 75 micrograms per liter. And also workers shouldn't be exposed to more than 75 ppm in air for 8 hours. PCBs, highly carcinogen chemical compounds, formerly used in industrial and consumer products. However, they are now banned. So since 1979 and internationally since 2001, were widely used in the manufacture of carbonless copy paper, as heat transfer fluids, and as dielectric and coolant fluids for electric equipment. Because of their longevity, PCBs are still widely in use. So because you can put them in the environment, they don't go away, so you can still find them in the environment. And 1.2 million tons are estimated to be produced globally. Next, we will talk about the chlorofluorocarbons. Chlorofluorocarbons include trichlorofluoromethane. So it's a carbon with 3 chlorine, but one of the chlorine will be, instead of the chlorine, will be fluorine. We have the difluoromethane, so two chlorine and 2 fluorine. And then you have the trifluoroethane, so Cl, 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 and then you have F, F, F. Start with the trichlorofluoromethane, which is also known as Freon. You know that from your fridge. This is basically the refrigerant or the gas that goes inside your fridge, or used to be. It is a colorless, faintly ethereal and sweetish smelling liquid that boils around room temperature. Freon 11, CFC11, is a class 1 ozone depleting substance which damages Earth protective stratospheric ozone layer. And prior to the knowledge of the ozone depletion potential of chlorine in refrigerants, trichlorofluoromethane was sometimes used as a cleaning rinsing agent for low pressure systems. Next is dichlorofluoromethane, that's Freon 12. It's colorless and odorless gas produced by the fluorination of chloroform. Dichlorofluoromethane was used as a propellant and a refrigerant, and again, due to its role in ozone depletion, it has been largely phased out. It has a potential ozone depletion potential of 0.04, and we'll talk later in the class about ozone depletion potentials. Production and consumption has been reduced since 2004 and phased out in 2015 by Montreal Protocol. Trichlorofluoroethane, Freon 13. It is a man-made substance used primarily as a refrigerant, and it's high ozone depletion chemical and high global warming potential and long atmospheric lifetime. So with this, we covered some of the halide-based compounds, and next we'll talk about compounds that contain both oxygen and chlorine.